Why are you staring at my gloves? You know that I always wear gloves.
He is possessed.
They like bologna and roast beef and cheese, and boy, do they pile on the Miracle Whip. There's nothing like Miracle Whip. Its lively, fun-loving flavor comes from freshly ground spices and a secret recipe that makes any kind of sandwich or salad or even a casserole really special. Spread a little fun today. Miracle Whip salad dressing from Kraft. It's uncopyable.
The freshness that is nature.
The freshness that is parquet margarine. Parquet, with a good fresh taste that makes it the best of all-purpose margarines. Good fresh taste for spreading, good fresh taste for frying, good fresh taste for everything you bake. Taste the goodness, the freshness of parquet in sticks from Kraft.
first-timers and those that have lost track.
Okay, we're now going to transport you back into the present time, and please welcome two great gals from the Shadows, Kathleen Cody and Catherine Lee Scott.
Already met at least half of you already tonight. And how many new people who have never been to a Dark Shadows Festival? This is incredible, isn't it? After 45 years, we're still attracting new fans. So thank you very much for coming. Delighted to see you tonight.
It's wonderful. How many of you have I talked to on Facebook over the past month?
Oh, good. I can see you after. Thank you for coming.
Well, and you know, we want the two of you gals to, there's a lot of new folks here, and kind of, you know, they're going to be here throughout the weekend and be visiting, and you'll see them at their tables, and they'll be signing for you. And, but maybe, Catherine, you can just give us a quick little preview, recap of what's going on right now, and all the things you're up to, and here in New York and otherwise.
Well, first of all, Jim, do they all know that about the Dark Shadows movie?
Well, we'll get into that this weekend, but...
all right, well, I have to, first of all, if you don't know, Laura Parker, David Selby, Jonathan Fridd, we were all in London a little over a month ago doing cameo roles in a new Dark Shadows movie. We had a wonderful time. We were beautifully treated by Johnny Depp and Michelle Pfeiffer and Helena Bonham Carter and Tim Burton, and I mean, they were all wonderful. But I just wish that the other original actors from Dark Shadows could have been with us. But I understand, Jim, aren't there going to be roles for them in the sequel? But anyway, I mean, at least the red carpet at the premiere, Laura and I are already trying to figure out what to wear. But anyway, I mean, you know, I'm sure you're getting the impression already that we're a very close family. And so we like all of us to be together for everything. But it's really wonderful. It doesn't happen very often that a remake of the film is, you know, is that inclusive. You know, but they brought us in, and we're thrilled. And then just a couple of other things. Well, first of all, this is my new book. It's Dark Passages, and it's written with a very affectionate nod to Dark Shadows. And I originally wrote it as a sort of a coming of age story set in the 60s. And when I finished it, I thought, oh, wouldn't that be fun? What if Meg Harrison was really a vampire? And so it is paranormal fiction, and you'll find an awful lot of references to Dark Shadows. So I think you'll enjoy it. And it's just a special offer for the festival. You get a signed bookmark. This is Loving Hands at Home. You see those little holes on the top and a little red ribbon on the top? Guess what I do? So anyway, I'd be happy to sign that for you as well. And then the other thing that's new in my life that doesn't have anything really to do with Dark Shadows, but you know that I was a Playboy bunny before I got my role on Dark Shadows. Yeah. I can still call in a drink order and do a bunny dip. But in any case, the really good news is that NBC Television is doing a new series, and it's called The Playboy Club. And 20th Century Fox and Imagine Television have acquired the rights to the bunny ears for future episodes of their television series. And the other good news... And the show premieres on September 19th, so fingers crossed it'll be a huge success. And the other good news is that Simon & Schuster acquired the reprint rights. So on September 29th, they're bringing out a trade paper edition. And tonight is the very last night that I'm going to be able to sell these books. So I have just a few left. And they were $25 when they first came out, $15 now, and for these last few copies. So that's it.
Now
can't sell them after tonight.
Now tell us, did Hugh Hefner's ex-fiancée sign any books?
Well, you know what's interesting? I got Hef to write a foreword for the new edition, and considering everything else that's happening in his life, I think that's pretty amazing. But anyway, Hef wrote a nice foreword, and then I just have a few copies of this one left, and I'm selling those only tonight. So that's my news, and I'm just going to show you the cover of the. Where is it here? Oh, there it is. This is the new cover of the bunny ears, and I'm just crazy about that cover. I'm really excited about it.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's my news. What about you?
Well, now this is Kathleen Cody. Of course, we welcomed her to Burbank last year, and this is her first time back to New York. And she was a proud actress here. She was a college coach, and she's been away from New York for a while, and so we welcome you
40
back to New York.
years. I was born and raised in the Bronx.
Well, it's great, and tell us what you've been up to, and it's so nice for you to be here.
This has been amazing this year. Oh, okay, Catherine. Thank you. It's been an amazing year. I loved coming last year. My daughter had graduated, my daughter got married, my mom had passed away, who I've been taking care of, and I was sort of left with an empty nest. And Dark Shadows I had wanted to come to a couple of years before then, and I had been sick. And so last year worked in well into my schedule, but I never, ever thought it would affect me the way it did. And I enjoyed all of you so much. I enjoyed seeing my castmates. I enjoyed all of you. I enjoyed the whole process. And Jim is an amazing, I mean, if you ask Jim for anything, he'll find some way of getting it for you. He's an incredible man. But then a lot of other things started happening. Wikipedia, I had a page all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened, and I don't know how they know half the things about me that I don't even know that are on there. And being contacted by people that, one in particular, Nicholas Hammond, who I worked with on a Gunsmoke back in the 70s, who's in Australia, and he's a producer and a director and a writer, and still an actor. But the new news is that I may be doing love letters down in the Palm Beach Playhouse. So I will coming back as an actress. I think that's kind of my third career, actress, corporate, and actress again. So that's what's new, but I'm excited to be here. Again, I wouldn't miss this for the world. And what was really fun was the last month on Facebook. I've never done that. I had my own personal page where I had my friends and I had my family. And then some people started finding me. And I figured, okay, come on in. But then so many came in that I created Kathleen's Dark Shadows Friends, and I went from 47 friends at the beginning to 584 friends now, and it's growing, and I love it, and I know so many of you by name, and I got to get to see your faces. So it's been an exciting year for me, and I look forward to what's coming up in the future. Who knows, you know, maybe this is my next chance at what I gave up when I had my little girl. And I was a single mother in LA and couldn't make the choice of leaving her with people and pursuing my career or being just a regular mom. So maybe it's my turn again. Let's see.
And tomorrow night, she's going to host tomorrow night a screening of a very illustrious production of The Crucible she starred in back in the 60s. Before she was on Dark Shadows.
67. I was 11 when we filmed it, 12 when it came out.
Well, it's got a lot of Dark Shadows connections. You've got Thayer David, Clarice Blackburn, Dana Elcar, and John Harkins are in there. And it's very Dark Shadow-esque because it's The Crucible, which of course influenced Dark Shadows in so many ways. And it's on colored tape, and George C. Scott, who Catherine worked with.
George C. Scott, Colleen Dukers, Melvin Douglas,
yeah, great people.
Tuesday Well.
Yeah, so that'll be tomorrow evening.
And it was
Be sure
nominated for
we've
3
got
Emmys also.
special screening of that tomorrow night. It hasn't been seen on television since it aired, I think. So, yeah. So we're going to show that with her hosting. And now we're going to take a couple of glimpses into the time warp here on the screen and see what kind of memories we can conjure up of these gals from their Shadows days. If we can dim the light and roll disc.
Roast beef rare and hot, right? Beg your pardon. Jerk. J-E-R-K. Well, thanks. Don't mention it. The name's Maggie Evans. And right now I'm the last link in a long string of gossip. Sandwich rare enough for you? Oh, it's fine. But I still don't understand why. Like this. A chauffeur tells a desk clerk, who tells a housekeeper, who tells me that you're going to work up in Collinwood. That makes you a jerk. Listen, honey. The Collins family is the biggest thing in this town. They own the biggest cannery, the biggest fishing fleet, and the biggest, darkest, gloomiest old house. And they're kooks. Every Move in there. But take a good look at that mirror right now. Because in 2 months, that pretty hair of yours is going to be one glorious shade of gray.
Makes it sound like some old English novel. Rattling chains, ghosts in the corridors.
You think that's wrong? I can tell you things about that house that would...
Thank you. Okay, dim the lights. Kathleen is
Very swift to coached Catherine to be the jerk. And
draw the curve.
like, I took out the side of her mouth. And, she thinks she was channeling either
How's your arm feeling?
Sheridan. She didn't know what she was doing.
David, you promised to tell me why we had to come here
See
again.
dark passages.
Well, remember when I told you that there were some things that we had to find out? Well, there's a way that we can. We are going to hold a seance.
A seance?
Yes, just the two of us, here in this room.
But I don't know anything about seances.
You don't have to. I know all I need to know. I've seen the grown-ups do a lot of times. Here, there's nothing to be afraid of if you do exactly what I tell you.
But can't we do it someplace else?
Everything started to happen once we first came to this room, right?
Yes, but
Well, then this is the logical place to hold it.
It was tough.
How did you prepare for such demonic performances, says Jim.
It was hard at 15, not knowing what you were going to see the next day in the script, you know. There was a director that would say, and I'm not going to say which one, more. You know, we're going down a hallway and there's nothing there, and I never stopped and said, well, why more? You know, is there going to be something there tomorrow that I don't know about? It was just dark shadows. You know, it was just dark shadows. Just scared. And that's how I spent, I think, the 7 months on the show.
Did that director invent the extreme close-up?
Yes, I think so. And at 15, that's not too good.
Oh, fun. Well, it's a never dull moment. Okay, dim the lights.
oh, Angelique, don't pack now. Sit down. I have so much to do. Did you hear what happened last night? Only that you were ill. I hope it's nothing serious. Do you remember that flower you gave me to pin on my wedding dress? For luck? I wonder where it is now. I'm sorry it did not bring you happiness. I know you would. Oh, why don't we go back to Martinique now, this morning? Wouldn't you like that, Auntie? You don't want to go home? Oh, no, Madame. Why not? You really like it here that much? Oh, yes. Perhaps you could stay. I intend to. Decided already? All alone? But no, not all alone. You have another employer? Oh, no, it's not that. I really cannot say you are. Why not? Well, if Monsieur Barnabas has not told you. Told me what? That it is not my place to tell you. But it is. Should I put your dresses in the trunk? You'll be wearing black. I'm sorry, Angelique, but I must insist you tell me what you mean. Now, what should Mr. Barnabas have told me? I'm waiting, Angelique. Monsieur Barnabas has done me the honor of asking for my hand in marriage. Marriage? He shouldn't have told you, Madame. Barnabas, I love him very much. See? Then you needn't pack anymore. There's no need for you to care for me any longer.
What was happening on the other soap operas at this time? You know, they were just sort of domestic stories about divorce and you know, who was sleeping with who. And when you think that we were doing things with, you know, costume drama really, and all sorts of special effects, it's pretty amazing. It really is. Anyway, when you're, you know, a young actor straight out of acting school, to be given this opportunity to create 4 different roles, to, you know, span these time periods, Lady Kitty Hampshire in the 1700s, and Rachel Drummond in the 1800s, Maggie Evans in the present time, and Josette Dupre. That's Josette Dupre. That one. It's pretty amazing. Wardrobe alone, it was just an incredible experience. And Laura Parker and I just ate it up. We just plain loved it. And playing these two characters, Josette and her lady's maid Angelique was really wonderful. I'm going to say one other thing too. You know where we are here. This is the set of Collinwood. And we have you mentioned this yet, Jim? It's Patrick de Blasi. You remember him, he's come to many of our other festivals, who came last night and set this up. And it's really fun on our 45th anniversary to be able to sit here in something that is the semblance of the Collinwood set. So thank you, Patrick. And can I just say one other thing? You asked me what happened to my blonde wig, remember? And I never answered. The reason why I was wearing that blonde wig is that everybody who auditioned for the show originally auditioned for the role of Victoria Winters. And then I was given the role of Maggie Evans. And of course I had very long, dark hair. And Leela Swift and Dan Curtis were so afraid that I looked too much like Alexandra Molka, who played Victoria. So it was decided that I had to wear a wig. It was either that or cutting my hair and bleaching it. What would you do? So I ended up wearing this thing that looked like someone's dead puppy on my head. I had no choice. So one day I happened to come to work and Dan Curtis was there, and I hadn't put on the wig yet. And he said, "What's that? Is that your own hair?" And I said, "Yes." He had forgotten. And he said, "Well, scrap that wig." So suddenly Maggie Evans overnight had long dark hair. Go figure. Anyway, we got away with so much that changing hair in the middle of an episode, was far from the most outlandish thing that we did.
Dim the lights.
I murdered my father. Please help me before the constables come.
You're crazy. But Mordecai Grimes will kill you if he finds out.
Yes, but he has so much to find out. That I'm here, that I'm working for Mrs. Flora Collins.
Working for Flora? Doing what?
I'm doing her accounts in my spare time, so I'll have enough money to leave.
Leave? Where would you go?